Welcome back, nerds, to another episode of Between Nerds. And this is your host, Aldo Mendez.
And Drew Elias. Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 21 over KonoSuba, God's blessing on this wonderful world. This is our second attempt at recording episode 21. What happened, Aldo? Tell me.
Man, my computer got hit by a truck. And just went into an isekai.
Aldo's laptop got coronavirus. And we had recorded like almost 100 minutes, like over an hour and a half. We paused it.
We tried to go again and...
the whole thing just shit itself. It was...
So this is our second attempt, take 2, on trying to record the 21st episode of Between Nerds. Again, this is a Western style podcast, so you may keep your shoes on. What you thought about KonoSuba, brother?
I think KonoSuba is fucking hilarious. I am so glad that your first isekai that we watched is like something with a not annoying main character like ReZero and Subaru. Like at a certain point, maybe we will hit like the SAOs of the world. We'll do Overlord and like stuff like that. But for now, like this entry level hilarious thing that is KonoSuba was a great way to start, I think, for this podcast.
It was good. I liked it. I have fun watching it. The animations are so crazy. The fighting animations are so crazy.
Going through like just GIFs from KonoSuba is like almost as fun as watching the show, because that's when you just get like screenshots of all the dumbass faces they make. Mm-hmm. And I watched after we finished recording and I was all sad about us losing our audio. Uh-huh. I went home, watched the movie to feel better about myself, the KonoSuba movie, and like some of the funniest GIFs are like from the movie. The movie is so stupidly funny.
Really cool. I'm gonna watch it. I completely forgot to watch it today. I knew I had time, but I was bummed out that we had lost the file. So it's crazy, and it's not like we were able to take notes or anything like that. We always like record, edit, upload it, delete it, or I mean not delete it, but like we don't save the project.
We just delete the MP3 afterwards. We're just done with it. It's just gone forever.
Yeah, it's gone forever. There's no archives.
Before we get into like really into talking about it, I do want to talk at the forefront of the episode about our monthly hashtag giveaway / donation-a-thon that we always do for the month of December. Between Nerds Podcast is doing hashtag Nerds for the Homeless. Please use an original tweet or use an Instagram post using said hashtag, and you will be entered into our monthly giveaway, and you'll get said cool nerd item for the month of December. And for every like or retweet, or we'll even like tally up original tweets using the hashtag, we will total that up and we'll be donating to the El Paso Coalition for the Homeless at the end of the month. We recently donated last month's, for the month of November. Mm-hmm. We donated to El Paso Candlelighters. We're getting that. We're getting those tax credits up. We're at almost like $100 for the year. Like Between Nerds Podcast needs to hurry up. Well, we need to buy our LLC.
Yeah, and that takes some time. So any attorneys that want to help us,
the 3 people that listen, I hope one of you is an attorney, because we really need help making this LLC.
And please follow us at Between Nerds. Email us at betweennerdpodcast@gmail.com. Also, I would like to give a shout out to Baked Enough in IG. That's a local baker that makes like all sorts of cakes and desserts and cookies and shit. Follow her on Instagram. She's really cool. I had already ordered a cake from her for my girl's birthday.
When is the 1-year anniversary of Between Nerds? Like, when did we publish our first episode? We should make a cake, or we should order a cake with our logo for that day.
That's cool. I like cake. Do you like cake?
I don't like cake, but I just want to take a picture with a cake with our logo on it. That sounds like amazing. But anyways, am I missing anything else? Any shout outs at the beginning? Shout out to Valentino Hernandez Jr. He is our only entry for our giveaway for the month of December. And he only entered using an original tweet using the hashtag Nerds for the Homeless because we harassed him last episode.
Yes, sir.
I hope that
he has learned his lesson.
Yeah, he learned his lesson, and I hope him listening to our podcast at work was stressful enough for him. So he best make damn sure that somebody besides him enters, because I know his brother Frank is on Twitter, and I know Frank watches a bunch of anime. So I demand at least one more entry by next week.
Awesome, yeah. One more subscriber. But yeah, KonoSuba, it was fun.
What is KonoSuba?
It was lightly.
What is the plot, broad spectrum of KonoSuba?
It's just a D&D. It's just a D&D fucking quest, man. It's just a D&D session.
Right. So it's an isekai, which directly translates to something like transported to another world. And all isekais are just about like somebody dying in our human modern world, and then he's just transported to like a video game fantasy world. And in KonoSuba, it's just some shut-in NEET named what's his name? Kazuma. And he dies and gets harassed by a goddess, and then tricks her into going into this other world with him, and they're trying to defeat the Demon King.
Yeah, and it's like when he dies, he gets there, he meets Lady Aqua.
Wait, how does he die? Back up.
Well, that's where I'm going, because he doesn't know yet, even himself at this point. Like, he just dies, wakes up. Well, he starts by saying that he doesn't really go out, but in this day he has to go out to go get like a weird like video game
edition. Yeah, it's like an exclusive collector's edition video game.
And anyways, accident, but it was about to happen or something. Anyways, he appears in this black room in front of Lady Aqua.
He's in limbo.
Or limbo almost, and then Lady Aqua tells him, well, you were, so I guess you sacrificed yourself to save someone, but you died, so we're gonna give you like
a new lease on life.
Yeah, and you can either go to this world, but then she starts like almost negotiating, like, or you can go kill this guy for me, which I still don't know what the end game of that is, which is the Demon King or
whatever organization of the goddesses or whatever. I guess they have. You're right. They have some kind of like investment in the KonoSuba world, and they need to make sure that like this Demon King business is resolved. But knowing how KonoSuba is, and it's so like funny and doesn't take anything seriously, if we eventually get to the Demon King, I feel like it's just gonna be a subversion. It's gonna be a fucking joke or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Because at that point, then he can resurrect back in Japan or something like that, right?
Yeah,
like they promise something
wealthy
like that.
Family or something.
Yeah, and while he's like just digesting all this, he's like, oh well, at least my sacrifice saved another person, and Lady Aqua just starts laughing at him,
like super dickish about it too, like not like this is a very one-sided laughter here.
Yeah, very one-sided. Yeah, because Kazuma is just pissed because she's laughing at him. Then she continues to tell him that what he thought was a truck, and when he pushed this girl out of the way, what he thought it was a truck, it was actually a very slow-moving tractor, which,
like, the girl was never in danger.
Yeah, even if she wouldn't have gotten pushed out of the way, but Kazuma dies at the hospital because of a panic attack, and he gets a heart attack then.
Yeah.
And then the doctor...
He had like a panic attack that made him pass out. And then in the hospital, he had like a heart attack from the panic attack. And then the whole time, his family's there, and they're just all laughing at him because he's a fucking idiot and just died like that.
So this is all what Lady Aqua is telling him, and she's laughing as she's telling him. And before the laughter, she had offered him, like, oh, if you go to this world and help me kill the Demon King, you can get something to take. Either a wish, a power, riches.
Some kind of buff you need for this fantasy world. So, like, a magic weapon, a magical superpower.
Mm-hmm. And because she's laughing at him and he's mad, he decides to take her.
Yeah. So then, like, she's like, "What do you wish for?" Then and he's just like, "I wish for you." And then she just gives this dumbass, stupid expression, just crying and sobbing. That we see like Aqua's crying face probably like out of all her expressions,
80% of the time.
Yeah, half the time Aqua's just crying about something. And it's just like her eyes go black and she's sobbing and her face gets long. So then this other goddess just appears. It's like, bye, Lady Aqua. Like, have fun in your new life. And that's like the beginning of it. That's halfway through episode 1.
And they go ending here, and then we start meeting the crew. Well, it's very. We were talking about this yesterday when we were sad that we cannot put into words how funny, weirdly this anime is.
Yeah,
you know, because it's. I mean, we can tell you what's going on. We can describe to you what was funny to us, but
KonoSuba being as a visual medium like an anime, it's hard for me to describe these funny faces to you and the funny shit that's going on. But it's not just funny. Like, KonoSuba is kind of like feel-goody, because when KonoSuba first came out in like 2016, what made me keep going back was by the end of episode 1, you get this like feel-goody thing, because they go to this fantasy world, but they're broke adventurers. They don't have any skills. They can't go on quests or missions or whatever. So they're just doing like manual labor, living in a shed, like sitting next to horse shit at night, and like they just like work their asses off all day in the heat, and then they get hammered after work with their coworkers. And it's such like a feel-goody fantasy world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because and like the aspect of like the quest or like the video game or the RPG aspect of this anime is really fun, because they go into this world right after Aqua stops crying about that she's in that world. They are pretty weak. I mean, they're level 1s, level 0 evens. They go into this low level town and they have to get money, so they just do a montage of them like just working, drinking, buying like a cloth for their barn.
Well, being level 1, it's hilarious because it's an RPG, so you get a stat card. Like, every person literally has like a piece of paper that has their stats and their skills on them, like you're a fucking Pokemon.
That you can magically like just change.
I pick these skills.
Yeah.
Like, I want my stats like this. You pick your class. Like, it's an RPG, right? So they do Kazumas, and it's just like, oh, you're really weak, you're not very fast, but you have slightly above average intelligence, and like you're maxed out on luck.
Yeah.
And then Aqua talking shit, because every episode Aqua is just like, well, I'm a goddess, I can do X, Y, and Z, I'm so good, blah 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 blah. And then so she gets her stats read. It's like, oh, you got the most magic, you're so capable, you're instantly gonna be an archpriest, but like you have below average intelligence and you're bottomed out on luck.
Yeah, it's and the relationship that they have, because she's so like useless. I mean, everybody knows, the nerdum knows, but for those of you that haven't seen them,
bro, I thought you were gonna say hot, and I was like setting up that 2D waifu joke, like just gonna throw it your way. I was like,
she's so like stupid, you know,
she's
like useless.
The most like useless person you've ever met in your life.
And like you said, she's always like all up, like high up her ass because she thinks she's a god, you know?
Yeah, she's like, well, I'm not gonna do this. Kazuma's gonna take care of it. And then like bad shit always happens to her because she has bad luck and she's dumb. So like stuff just goes wrong.
So we meet Lady Aqua, obviously instant crew member, and then we meet Megumin, right?
Well, hold on. Before we move on, I just want to talk about the stats one more thing. So the direct comparison they're trying to make in episode 1 is that they're foils to each other, right? Like, the thing about Kazuma and Aqua, like, Kazuma, he's a little fucking pervert. Like, he's 18 years old, and he was a shut-in neath and never, like, really interacted with women. So, like, he's a shut-in loser, but Kazuma and Aqua get along, like, perfectly. Like, they're always butting heads, they're always arguing, but, like, they just mesh together. You know what I mean? Their strengths complement each other, and you see that in episode 1 because of how, like, along they get. They're just, like, you do this, I'll do that, and like we're just gonna get through this shitty situation together. And like all these girls kind of have a flirty relationship with Kazuma, kind of, but Aqua's the most that like you could see it happening, but as a fan base, like hating Aqua's become such a meme. Like you'd be upset if you ever saw that happen.
Yeah. And yeah, it's really fun to watch. He ends up picking adventure. He ends up learning the first skill that he learned was steal. He learned it by obviously some person that also stole
a rogue.
A rogue? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, she was a rogue class character. And this is like in episode like 3, and this is where like it's really setting up that Kazuma's a fucking pervert, because so he gets his rogue to teach him the steal skill, and the first thing he steals is like a pair of her panties. And so he's just in the middle of town square, just like, just throwing her panties around his head, and just everyone's just staring at him and being like, yo, this dude's a fucking lunatic. But what they don't even realize is she like tried to rob him 5 seconds before, being like, oh, I stole your sack of money, so like you guys steal something that's valuable back and maybe I'll consider trading.
Yeah, and it starts setting the mood about what you're going to be seeing along, because it's fan servicey.
Yeah.
You know? It's super fan servicey. And
I don't think we've watched anything that's fan servicey in a minute. Like, so blatantly, like, not pretending to be classy fan servicey.
But like we said in the first take, it's not like awkward Darling in the Franxx fan servicey, where there's literally like
ass shots.
You know? Like just...
Well, there's a lot of ass shots in KonoSuba. I don't know.
Well, no, there is, but like... In Darling in the Franxx is more about the act of sex as to where...
KonoSuba is also about the act of sex a lot.
But on KonoSuba is more like middle schoolish kind of like humor.
Darling in the Franxx tries to be highbrow about it. Be like, there's all these ass shots and like it's all a euphemism for fucking.
Yeah.
But we're so fucking classy. This is about robots and space alien zombies.
Yeah, because Darling in the Franxx doesn't even like... points it out. It's just like in the background, but KonoSuba knows exactly what they're doing.
I miss Darling in the Franxx. I fucking miss Darling in the Franxx.
And it's hilarious how everything goes, because he's a little pervert.
There's a scene that I barely remembered like yesterday. That's of there's a character with a drain skill that like drains somebody's life force, like, you know, video game stuff, like a vampire touch, right? So then like she walks up to Kazuma and she needs his energy, but she's just like, Kazuma, I need to suck you right now. And then you just like, you're hearing, as an audience, you're hearing Kazuma's inner dialogue. It's just like, oh yeah, please suck me. And he's just like, I'm not going to question what it is, but I'm just going to let her suck whatever she wants to suck, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, I remember that.
So she just starts stealing his life, and he turns into like a lifeless shell. It's like the funniest fucking thing, because the third member of the party, the main party of 4, is a 14-year-old Crimson Demon mage.
Wizardy looking.
Yeah, she's the most classically like fantasy character. Like, her outfit's a witch outfit. Like, she's a literal like mage witch. But her gimmick is that like she has the most powerful explosion magic ever, and she's so fucking bomb, and like, but she uses up so much energy using explosion magic. She's like, she's under paralysis afterwards. Like, she can't move.
Yeah, she goes limb and somebody has to carry her. And before they meet, she was a loner in town because nobody wanted to work with her because of that reason. But then she she's like, come on, I'll do anything to join your party.
And that's another Kazuma scene with him being like, anything.
Yeah. Because she has to blow shit up either way. Yeah, because she's very innuendo-y to this explosion magic.
That's like the euphemism is, I gotta get my explosion off. I gotta get my explosion off at least once a day, or I can't live. So Kazuma, Aqua, and Megumin go on like a frog hunting mission, like just outside the castle walls. And like, so the girls are just getting eaten by frogs because they're terrible adventurers and they're all fucking level 1. And so they're crawling back to town. Aqua and Megumin are like covered in frog slime. And like, our 4th character runs up to Kazuma being like, are those girls with you? Are they covered in slime? I want to be covered in slime. Yeah. And this is how we meet darkness.
And yeah, you can see like, again, in the middle of town, people are like, what did that guy do to those girls?
Yeah. Like this dude just like nutted on these girls and like paraded them around town or something.
Yeah, so earlier that week, they just saw the same guy like just waving panties around and stuff. And
they call it like Kazu Trash and like
KonoSuba.
Yeah, KonoSuba
or something like that. And it's hilarious. So anyways, we meet Darkness, Ms. La Latina.
Right, and she's a literal masochist. Like, literally, like, every sense of the word masochist. Like, she wants to be beaten,
like physically, mentally, emotionally.
Right. Like, she wants to be shamed. Like, even if she's not going to get hurt by the frog, she wants to be shamefully paraded around town with the frog guts on her, and like just having people think dirty thoughts about her.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like, this is like if we see Aqua crying 80% of this anime 2 seasons. Darkness is being in a way a masochist like 95% of the time.
Right. Every scene Darkness is in, like her only piece of dialogue is just something gross and masochistic.
Yeah, just fucking loving being put down or something.
Oh no, these monsters are gonna beat the shit out of us. Darkness right away. Please let them beat the shit out of me, please.
And her whole like motivation is to get in this shitty and this already known by the town people of this shitty party, which is Kazuma and Aqua and Megumin, that she's like, oh, I need to join your fucking guild, your fucking party, because
I heard your party sucks and I'm gonna get beat the fuck up no matter what.
And she just wants to, like, because I think at this point she hears that they want to hunt like generals for the demon, you know, the demon king's generals. And she's like, oh, I want to get enslaved. I want to get trapped by one of them. You know, like, it just...
I want to be somebody's sex slave.
Yeah.
And, like, I was counting it out. Like, the main, like, antagonists are the demon lord's generals. Because we haven't actually ever met the demon king. But I was totaling out, including the movie, we've met 5 of them. Did they ever mention, like, how many of the generals are supposed to be?
I don't know. Like I said, like, they start off with this very vague, like, oh, you need to go kill the demon king in this world.
We didn't even know there were generals or there was a whole demon organization about it.
Correct. So at this point, it seems very monster beatdowny.
Yeah.
You know? Like Monster of the Week kind of thing.
Yeah, but there's a few episodes that, like, will build up to it. You know what I mean? Because, like... halfway through season 1, we meet the first Demon King General, which is like a headless horseman character. And we meet him because he shows up to the town. And Kazuma and Megumin have been showing up to his castle every day and just like doing explosion magic. Because since Megumin has to get her rocks off, she'll just like explode anything. So every day they just walk out of town, see his nice ass castle, and just fucking use explosion magic on it for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
And then Kazuma will just like carry Megumin back.
Yeah, and then this headless horseman comes and he's like, who the hell has been like exploding shit? Because I don't know, for some reason the the Demon King's General's castle has like some sort of field, and that's why they picked it, because they wasn't really doing anything, but it's just like the fucking explosion.
Yeah,
of it
they just
all.
thought it was some castle.
Yeah, and yeah, he comes over and he points out, like, everybody knows who that is.
Who's the fucking wizard obsessed with explosion magic? So right away they're like, oh, this is this little bitch. So, like,
yeah, and they fight. Is that when they fight? The first time?
No, not the first time. So what they do the first time is, like, they already have darkness, and he's like, I'm gonna curse a member of your party, and she's gonna die within a week, and it's gonna be super painful and shitty, and that'll teach you. No, and then you have to show up to my castle and fight me and all my demons, and maybe you'll be able to undo her curse. So darkness, just wanting to get fucked up, she just jumps in. She's like, fuck yeah, curse me.
And yeah, she gets cursed with like a death curse.
Yeah, a literal death curse. And they're like, you're gonna be dead in 7 days, that's it. And there's like, oh, fuck.
She just gets off too. She's just like,
I'm gonna die.
Yeah,
but
she's gonna die.
But then Aqua, as an archpriest, she just like gets rid of the curse right away.
Because she's a goddess, so she's just bloop.
There's no stakes in Konosuba. And like, this is around the same time that like one of the first missions they take as a group is they have to purify a lake, like a cursed lake that has like bile coming out of it. So they literally just put Aqua in a cage, since she's a goddess and can purify water, and just sit her bare ass inside this cage, inside the lake. And she's just like sitting there all fucking day, just soaking up water and not really purifying anything, and just feeling sorry for herself.
So the quest that she initially wanted to do was to go kill some like heavy ass monster, but Kazuma was like, no, we're low levels. Like, what are you doing? You just want the money. It's like, fine. It's like, look, I found this other one. We don't have to kill anybody, because the quest says as soon as you purify the water, the creatures will leave. So you never had to do it. So her plan was to get Kazuma and the girls to protect her while she just pretty much teabagged the leg.
So she ends up teabagging it with her bare ass all day.
Yeah, but within this cage the KonoSuba thinks of, instead of them risking their life, they just kind of literally teabag her into the fucking lake.
She's just in a steel cage that the monsters can't get into. So then, and like her outfit's just like this little short skirt. So like every Aqua scene's like an upskirt shot. But this episode's funny because they just sit her in the lake with her bare ass, and you just hear KonoSuba in the background being like, "Hey, stop using your bare godass isn't gonna like purify this lake. You better get to work or something."
Yeah, and she doesn't until like the monsters comes, these pink alligator looking things, and, like they just rattle and turn and twist the fucking box, and she really starts getting proactive and starts using her literal purifying.
And they still didn't help her.
No.
For whatever reason, KonoSuba just being a dick. He's like, nah, she's all right.
She got it. And yeah, she after a while, after being like just fucked up on the cage, we have Darkness getting off in the background too, because she's like, I want to be in the cage. I want to be in the cage.
I want to be hurt. I want to be in the cage. I want to be humiliated like that.
And
it's Mega being like, let me blow it up, and then KonoSuba being like, no, you're gonna blow up Aqua. Don't fucking blow it up. Like, and that's every dynamic ever. Is like something bad happens to KonoSuba or Aqua,
and then I think this is like KonoSuba. Yours is.
Yeah, because like there's like a running theme that so they make fun of like anime tropes, and there's that typical anime thing. Well, they'll just say somebody's name like Drew. Like yeah. So somebody like Megumin will just be like KonoSuba, and KonoSuba will just say KonoSuba here, and then they'll do it again and just be like,
very sarcastically.
I'm still KonoSuba.
and yeah, like you said, it's not. They don't have a super annoying male MC. Mm-hmm. So it's nice. It feels like something that I would say.
Yeah, because it's what KonoSuba's written as like what you would do if you got transported to like a video game world. Mm-hmm. Like he's very analytical. He's like, no, don't say this, don't do this action. It's going to trigger a flag, and then we're going to have to deal with X, Y, and Z thing. Mm-hmm. And he goes over like stats and weaknesses, and just like if this were a video game, this would happen right now. And it's just so like. When they go back in town with Aqua in the steel cage still, she's just sitting down feeling bad for herself.
She got traumatized. She was like, no, don't open the cage. The world's too big. I'm scared. Blah, blah, blah. So they literally dragging her. Again, same time, a week before, they just saw this kid with two girls covered in slime. The week before that, this guy just waving panties and everywhere. So now he's like rolling in this girl, wet and ruffled up, through town, and she's like singing this weird ass song.
Yeah. So then
and then through what all this is happening, Darkness is still getting off through all this whole thing.
Yeah. And so it's super weird. And then one of the guys that Aqua had met in Limbo and transported to this world, like, recognizes her, and he's a super brave warrior because he got a magical sword from the deal or whatever, and he challenges KonoSuba to a duel. KonoSuba uses steel, steals his sword, and knocks him out. Mm-hmm. And nothing got resolved because it's this guy trying to be chivalrous, and like he tries to get Aqua out of the cage, and Aqua's just being like, no, you're weird. Like, why are you being nice to me?
And even the girls, the guy, I can't remember what the guy's name is, but he's like, girls, you can join my party and you don't have to deal with his abuse or mistreatment and stuff. And the girls are like, nah, dude, you're weird. Like they literally were like,
his name is Mitsurugi.
And the girls, Megumin, Darkness, and Aqua, they're just like, no, you sound like you're full of yourself, blah, blah, blah. It's like, and KonoSuba's like, see? It's like, nobody wants to hang out with a guy like you. They just rather be with a piece of shit like me.
That's what's so funny, because it's like they don't want to be around well, I guess that would be like the internet nerds version of a good guy, just being like fake nice and very like chivalrous.
Yeah.
But like
I opened the door for her.
Yeah.
Why is she not my wife yet?
Why doesn't she want to put out for me? I complimented her nicely on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Like dudes like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of guy he is.
Lady.
So, and that's like the running theme is that like KonoSuba's the most abusive fucking person in the world, but at least his heart's in a good place, kind of.
You wouldn't say abusive.
He's literally he's sexually exploitive at certain times.
Yeah, it's because he's a perv, but not abusive as far as like being a total shithead.
Oh yeah, he's not beating the women.
Oh no. Yeah, so it's just like him being like, nah, dude, it's like, get away. It's like, he calls himself very like equal opportunity towards women and guys. You know what I'm saying?
That's a running thing. He'll like beat the shit. He won't beat the shit, but if there's a female monster or a female, and he'll just give her a good bonking, and like that happens in the movie too, where one of the funniest scenes happens in. Oh, let me go on a tangent real quick.
Go ahead.
So in the movie, we meet like our 5th encounter with a demon general, and it's a chimera, half demon woman lady thing, right?
Okay.
So right away, Kazuma just does that thing with his bunk ass little sword, just screaming, just like, "You're a woman! I don't give a shit! I'll cut you right fucking here!" And the funniest scene in the movie is she's got ginormous anime titties for whatever fucking reason. She's like 8 feet tall with like 23K, or how do breast sizes work?
I don't know.
She's got triple K size breasts, right? And like she steals Kazuma and like tries to like, because she's got tentacles coming out of her back, so that's like
already more.
That's a dirty hentai reference, I guess. I've seen so on Twitter or something.
Yeah.
But so she scoops him up, and then like the girls try to give him, like, Kazuma, give Kazuma back, and Kazuma's just like, no, you guys are being mean to me, and nobody's putting out, so I'm gonna play with this demon woman's tits. Everyone leave me the fuck alone. So he's just like playing with her tits in the background. But so she starts explaining like, well, I'm a chimera, like I steal parts from everything, you know what I mean? You seem to like these breasts I put on myself so much. And then you just see Cosmo's facial expression be like, wait, why is there pressure on my butt right now? Like, what is happening? Because, like, she's, like, holding it forward on her chest. And she's, like, getting an erection on Kazuma. And that's when he starts screaming, like, no, let me go, let me go, let me go. No. So, like, Kazuma's just getting raped by, like, Demon King generals. And that's what he gets for being mean to the girls in his party.
Wow. That's funny. But the girls decide to stay with Kazuma after meeting this.
So he stole the sword and then he sells the sword.
Yeah,
this magical, priceless sword. Kazuma sells it for beer money.
Yeah, for beer money, literally. Because at this place, at the guild, it's like a bar. They literally go there. There's a quest giver.
They're there every day.
Yeah, there's a quest giver. There's a board literally with quests that you can see by difficulty how much cash you're gonna get. And that's what they do every episode.
Mm-hmm. That's what they do It's like fucking How I Met Your Mother. They just hang out at the bar all day talking shit to each other.
And what I was gonna say, the encounters, like the quest at the beginning, like, because they're broke, so they're trying to get a better home or a better house. But this doesn't happen until like season 2, I believe, because they're right. They're like in the barn for all the season 1. Yeah,
for all the season 1, and then. So they eventually beat the Headless Horseman character.
Because a week has gone by.
Yeah, a week comes and goes, and then he comes back. He's like, "Is your party member dead? Are you ready to submit to me?" And Darkness is just there being like, "Hey, do you want to do it again? That was fun. Like that hurt a lot. That was cool."
Yeah, and so he brings up undead. And then now we start learning that the undead have like an infatuation with Lady Aqua because she's a goddess, and one of her powers is to like
to release demon souls. That's like what goddesses do, right? Because that's what what Aqua was, I guess, doing, like in Limbo, like releasing souls, kind of. So all these undead characters are just automatically like obsessed with Aqua. So they're just like chasing her around the battlefield, right? And Kazuma's like non-sexist ass is like not even helping her. He's just like, oh, she'll figure it out, whatever. I need to figure out how to defeat this demon lord. Mm-hmm. So it's just Darkness like getting her ass beat by this demon lord because she can't hit anything, right? Like she'll get like these badass animation scenes, be like, I'm gonna slice you with my sword, and she hits a rock that's like 100 feet away.
Yeah, and you explained it very good the first time we tried to do this, but that Darkness is a tank, high defense, high power, but
zero accuracy, negative accuracy.
Yeah, and she kind of likes that too because she can't get a good hit. Like she can pretend to be like, hey, I'm gonna get you, but like she wants to just get hit.
Yeah, she just wants to pull aggro and use like her high defense and HP to just like take all the hits.
Mm-hmm. And we find out that the guy is like, his weakness is water.
For no reason. I don't know why. He was trying to... Like, what it was trying to say is that, like, demon lords are allergic to water or something, but I've never heard that one before. So anyways, Aqua makes a giant tsunami come out of the sky since she's a water goddess.
Yeah, totally overkill.
Totally overkill. And then Megumin uses explosion magic and blows him the fuck up because his defenses are lowered. And that destroyed like half the town wall. Mm-hmm. So they end up making like 300 million, whatever fucking currency system they used in this world.
But the damages were worth
340 million.
Yeah, so now they're in debt $40 million.
Yeah. So now all over again, KonoSuba and Aqua just crying, just being like, what the fuck are we gonna do? We're even in more debt than before.
And they end up wasting their money at the bar that night too.
Yeah.
And it's so funny that Aqua like throws up all this like in the scenes that they get drunk at the end.
But she throws up rainbows.
She throws up rainbows because, I don't know, God stuff.
But see, it's always Cosmo taking care of her. Mm-hmm. Cosmo cares for her.
Because, I mean, as the anime goes along, you start seeing that Aqua likes to drink.
Aqua's a party animal, bro.
Yeah.
Like, one of the first arguments they have is since they get skill points when they level up, they can put those skill points into, like, powers and stuff, right? And Cosmo's trying to learn, like, steel and frost and, like, skills he can use in combat, right? But Aqua, this whole time, has just been putting it into, like, party tricks that take up a bunch of skill points just so she can impress people at the bar while she's drinking.
Yeah, and she does all these, like, little gimmicks. It's like, I don't know if you played Destiny, but when you do some of your gestures and then they'll start dancing or something like that.
I haven't played Destiny, but I used to play a lot of World of Warcraft, so I do know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like the fucking dances in RuneScape, even. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, it's exactly how it is. She's just, just trying to impress weirdos at the bar.
Mm-hmm. And, she's
always trying to hide expensive sake and stuff like
she
that.
buys, like, big bottles of sake.
Yeah,
Sake's good.
Because when they move at a certain point, she just moves in. The only thing she owns is just a bunch of alcohol. Mm-hmm. It's like the only thing she moves in. And it's so... I don't even know where we're at right now. What were we talking about?
We were talking about the debt. So they're in debt after all this.
Yeah, they're...
And the main antagonist of season 1 is like this Wild Wild West moving fortress thing.
What Wild Wild West, the what's his face movie?
Will Smith movie?
Yeah, the Will Smith movie.
Yeah.
And so it's just a giant castle on legs. Mm-hmm. And that's like the boss for the last season. And they saved all the budget for animation for like episode 10.
These fights, these small little quests or attempts to quest something, it's they have a lot of good animations.
It's so good. And like KonoSuba is like the best opening songs of like anything we've seen.
Yeah, they're very catchy, very cool. I like them. I put him right under Madoka's intro.
It's because you just love Madoka so much. Every time you can't compliment anything we watch without being like, but it's not Madoka. Huh? It's not Madoka. And fuck. So they gotta fight this moving fortress, and like they come. Kazuma's the only one capable in this whole fucking town of making a plan, right? And even the other guys in the town, the only reason they're doing it. They're trying to protect the town from this moving fortress is because there's a succubus like shop in town that they're trying to protect at all costs.
If we know what if you know that meaning of succubus is like a lady demon willing to steal your
dreams
life force
through your life force. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be a being that like lures you in, you know what I'm saying? Like lures men in.
It's a sexy demon.
Yeah, and it's literally like a strip club / brothel kind of thing.
So KonoSuba finds it because there are these pervert
like 2 guys that he knows that they're just kind of like passing by this alley.
They're just creeping behind the alley, being like, "Do we go in? Do we go in?"
Like, yeah.
And so KonoSuba walks in there, and it's just a bunch of sexy demons,
like thin, small, push-uppy, big tits, fucking bikinis.
A bunch of fan service for no reason. Like, KonoSuba will be trying to ask a succubus about the services. It'll be like a full 3 frames of just tits moving for like no reason.
And when he's walking in, he sees that many of the men that he knows from the guild like are there.
They're all there.
Yeah, and then he shows up to like this little private booth almost, where the gist of the entire thing is that you get like a little, almost like multiple choice kind of menu where you fill out, and this dream, because he works through dreams. So whatever sexy, perverted fucking fantasy they have and they put on this paper, that's what's going to happen on their dreams that night.
Yeah. So, like, it's a sex service, but it's not a sex service because it's
That's
a
what
dream.
they're trying to push, because it's a dream,
Yeah, so it's like... And, like, Kazuma's just asking a bunch of questions to this succubus with big tits, and he's just like, oh, is age an issue? Because what if I want to be younger and I want my fantasy to be older? And she's like, oh, don't even worry about it. You can pick any age, gender.
It's just a dream.
It's just a dream. There's no ethics in your dream. Like, oh, no.
So, yeah, it gets very off-putting a little bit, because, you know, he's thinking about, like... Aqua, he's thinking about Darkness, he's thinking about Megumi.
And Megumi's 14 though.
Yeah.
Like Darkness is like a year older than him. She's like 18, and Aqua's a literal goddess, so she's like thousands of years old. So that's
700 or something shit like
yeah,
that.
who fucking knows? And then so him even considering that is super fucking creepy. So he goes home.
Oh, they tell him not to drink.
Oh, they tell him not to drink. So he goes home, and like the girls are drinking, and they're like, "Kazuma, drink with us. Good, come drink with us. We got super expensive sake and expensive crab and all this stuff."
That's when we find out that Darkness is literally like royalty almost. Not royalty, but...
We know her family's rich because she's got like these exotic crabs or something.
Yeah.
My family sent us these as a housewarming gift.
And a shitload of like king crab, you know, like...
How?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if you saw anybody just pull through with like $500 worth of crab, you'd just be like, what the fuck is this,
going
bro?
on? Yeah.
Who are you?
And they get really good sake, and... Lady Aqua is like, oh, I want to show you guys something I learned a long time ago, blah, blah, blah. It's a good way to eat sake. They grab the empty top shell of the crab. When they finish, it's like a little bowl. So they put sake right there and put it on top of the grill, let it warm up, and then drink the sake. That sounds pretty good.
I don't know what that would taste like. I'm not big on the warm alcohol. No, I do like warm sake. I'm lying. I don't know.
I like warm sake.
I like warm sake too. I'm lying. So, anyways, the joke here is that they're having a great time and they're trying to be a family together. And Kazuma's just like, you see him like really struggling with it for a second, but then after a while he's like, nope, later. I'm gonna go with my sexy dream. I'll see y'all later. I'm gonna go to bed.
And he can't go to sleep because of the anticipation.
Yeah,
he's in bed.
He wants to get he wants to like get his dream nut off so bad, and he's just like, I can't sleep.
Tossing and turning and blah blah. So he decides to take a warm shower. So, you know, anime showers is literally a hot bathtub.
Well, they live in a mansion now, so
Yeah.
it's a real like Japanese.
Are we in
like
season
full
2
south
already? No, right?
No, this is
still season 1. Yeah, this is at the end of season 1. Right, right.
Yeah.
So he just tries to take a shower and he ends up falling asleep in the shower.
Yeah, he falls asleep in the bath, and then he wakes up, and Darkness is there, and she's all naked with a towel. And so Kazuma's like, is this a dream, or is that really Darkness? And he's just like, well, I'm just going to keep acting like it's a dream because I know I fell asleep and all the lights are off. So he's just all telling Darkness all this dirty shit. He's just like, I thought you were going to be... I asked for somebody older and somebody submissive. Like his kink, his kink was like a naive, submissive, older woman.
Coy, almost, you know, like being like, no, like, you know?
Yeah. So he just starts telling Darkness just all this dirty shit, just like, take that fucking towel off, get over here and scrub my back, and you better fucking like it. And Darkness being the mascot, she's like, oh, he's being so mean to me, but I like it so much.
But it felt kind of awkward at some point. Like, it wasn't...
It's a little, like... It's a lot of sexual assaulty, like...
But then again, he thought it was a dream.
Yeah, he didn't mean... But then at the same time, why would... I don't know. There's a morality issue there that I can't... So she's scrubbing his back. She's blushing, and, like, she's all hot and bothered in the bath with Kazuma naked. And then, out of nowhere, we hear, like, Aqua scream.
Right, because she had put, like, this shield... Almost like this.
It's just a undead, just like an undead holy barrier or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and because of it, she was able to trap the succubus girl working that dream shift that night.
Right, that was like gonna give Kazuma his dream. So Kazuma runs out there with his towel on, and he's just like, "Oh, fuck! The succubus is out here and not in the bath. Oh no!"
So he ends up like because. Aqua is about to like just purify her or send her to heaven.
Yeah,
or
just kill her on the spot and
and I like the faces, man, because at this point we see Kazuma just run in between the attack of Aqua and the succubi, and fucking just like this face, I don't know, this weird shamed horny face that they put on him. It was so funny. And all the girls are like, oh no, the succubus has like controlled him. Yeah.
She took over his mind. Oh no, the succubus. So then like KonoSuba just feeling bad that this succubus girl's even in this situation is just like, just run. I'll deal with them. Just fucking leave. So he just like runs in between the girls naked and just tries to like distract them with his nakedness.
But they just like end up beating him up, and
yeah, they just beat the shit out of him.
The succubus escaped or something
thinking
like that.
He's under the control of the succubus, and they just beat the shit out of him. So he's like cleaning the next day. He's just minding his own business, and Darkness walks up, and she's like, "Oh, that's so crazy that you don't remember anything, and the succubus controlled your mind. That's so weird." And you see her like kind of wishing that he remembered because she enjoyed it somewhat. So she was all like, "You don't remember anything?"
Almost.
Yeah.
And he kind of slips. What if he slips? He's like, "Well, don't act like you didn't like it," or something like that.
She called him a weirdo or something, or a pervert, and he's like, "Don't act like you didn't like it." And she's like, "Hi, you did remember. I knew it." So now he's in trouble again, all over again. And Darkness is strong enough to totally kick his ass. Like, that's his tank, right? Like, she's super, like, buff and strong.
And it's hilarious, man. So now we start going into, like, the last 2 episodes.
Why did we describe? We described this because the guys in the town are trying to protect the town from the moving fortress to protect the succubus shop, because all the men in this town only live for the succubus shop.
Correct, and they're like, they're all outside like the castle walls and like trying to like intercept or stop this moving. Like, it's like a warhead, like a war machine almost. It's just like destroying everything it sees, birds, fucking everything. And these people see, like, they want to sound so very honorable, and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna fight because I love my town and blah blah. But they just put like a little flashback of them like
at the succubus shop,
at the succubus strip club.
So what KonoSuba's bright ass plan is, because this thing has a barrier around it, right? So they need like an archpriest who's going to be Aqua to use her magic to bring down the barrier, and then they need like 2 like. They need really big, like, destructive spells, like destruction magic, but, like, twice as much. Like, they can't just use Megamine. They need a whole nother sorceress. And that's where we have to describe this other, like, archmage that we know, whose name is Wiz, who is, like, the second Devil King general that we end up meeting at this point. Mm-hmm. Because she owns a magic shop in town. But the gang met her because she's a lich that was like exorcising demons at the cemetery, and Aqua being a goddess is like her fucking weakness. So like Aqua just bullies her and was like, fucking leave the cemetery and do whatever the fuck we say.
Yep. And her magic shop reminds me of like that cursed item store from Rick and Morty.
Yeah, it's exactly, like, it's just magic items with a drawback.
Yeah, and that makes more sense like towards the end of this season. But yeah, they destroy the barrier. They get within the fortress walls.
Well, you need, like, what I was saying, like, all the animation quality is saved for the boss fights. Like, the Aqua, like, bringing down the barrier purification thing.
God's Requiem?
Yeah, like, that gave me chills. I was like, oh, fuck. Like, it's just a bunch of blues and... How would you describe
spirals
it?
And
how would you describe it's all those visuals you see after ingesting weird things at like at EDC Las Vegas, but like sober, which is cooler, sort of.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's dope. And then like, so you see Wiz the Undead Lich and Megamine trying to do their explosion magic. And, like, the only thing well animated in every episode is, like, Megamine's explosion magic, right? Mm-hmm. So that times 2 is, like, amazing, because it's just, like, all these bright-ass colors, and, like, it looks like a nuclear explosion, and just double as much. And the juxtaposition visually right here is they're doing all this cool magic in the background, and you just see Darkness's ass, like, by herself in the middle being like, I hope it runs over me. I hope it beats the shit out of me.
It's wild. Yeah, like, the boss fights are so good. And, I mean, I don't hate CGI, but because this is how you should use CGI if you're gonna use it.
Use effects for effects. You get what I'm saying? Like, use it for things you can't record well, like fires and like
waters and
magical powers. And like, how else would you fucking animate that? Don't do characters in full CGI. Like, there is literally no reason, because like the human eye knows how human movement fucking looks. You know what I mean?
Just don't like they're like all crazy.
Yeah, so it's gonna feel unnatural as fuck no matter what if you use CGI.
Yeah, and
that's my issue. No spoilers, but that's my issue with season 4, episode 1 of Attack on Titan.
You told me about this. That's saddening.
It's super upsetting.
They changed studios. You told me.
They changed studios for whatever reason. I don't know. And it's so clear that they took the cheap route. Because most of the scenes with the Titans now are still shots, because it's clear that they're trying to save money on the animation for the Titan. So most of them are still shots so that you don't see the fucking shitty CGI models. But the minute any of the Titans are in motion, you're like, wow, that looks so fucking... It's been one episode. Maybe I'm being too harsh.
Maybe.
We've had one episode. It's going to be an 18-episode season.
Okay.
But my feelings after season 4, episode 1 of Attack on Titan, they fucked up.
Wow.
Like... The story's gonna get good, so I guess I'm gonna watch it for the fucking story, because I already know what the story is, but it's like...
I didn't want to see that?
Huh?
You didn't want to see that?
I didn't want to see that at all. It's just a huge disappointment.
But that would be for another episode.
Anyways, so they go into this giant moving fortress. There's this giant energy source nuclear bomb thing in the middle of it. It feels like a James Bond movie almost, anyway. Because it's like, James, you gotta go into the super secret base and get out this nuclear device in time, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it does. And yeah, very heisty.
Yeah. It's just like, we gotta get here within a certain amount of time or the whole town's gonna blow up, and the fate of the world depends on me doing this right now.
And yeah, they find the power core to this fortress.
And that's the suck scene between Wiz and Kazuma.
Oh yeah,
because Wiz is trying to like transport it, but she doesn't have enough magic left after using destruction magic, so she sucks out Kazuma's magical energy, and she's like, "Where do I transport it? Where do I transport it?" And Kazuma's just like, "My luck is so high, wherever. Just who fucking gives a shit? Like, I'll deal with the ramifications later." So they just transport it wherever, and the whole fucking building's still gonna explode. So they run outside. I don't even know how they got out of that. How did they get out of that?
Well,
They use a second Megamine explosion.
I think so. Yeah, because he transfers power to her.
Right. So Megamine only has enough power to use destruction magic once per day. So at a certain point, like, he has to use his drain touch on Aqua to take her energy and give that power to Megamine. But what we end up learning is that to use Drain Touch properly, you have to be touching as close to a person's chest as possible to take their life force. So Kazuma's just telling the girls, like, just let me grab your tit. Like, this isn't about that right now. Just let me grab your tit. And they're like, no, Kazuma, you fucking weirdo.
Yeah, so they end up doing that for a little bit, but he decides to get their napes.
Yeah, he just grabs the nape of their neck, which weirds them out too, because it's like, why? If somebody touched the back of your neck, you'd be like, "Why the fuck are you touching me?"
By the way, at this point in the whole season, like, they trying to be, and they were very clever, or like making the design character for Aqua, because her skirt, the length that it is like missing half of it, because half of it is quote unquote lacy, so it's kind of see through. So it's just very crazy throughout the whole time.
That's one of the biggest like fan debates is like, is Aqua wearing panties or not? Because like Kazuma has threatened to steal Aqua's panties with his steel power, but we've seen from these scenes that it's kind of clear that she's just not.
I don't know, crazy stuff.
Stuff. What are we talking about?
And
we're talking about anime titties and panties, and is that all KonoSuba is?
No.
It's dick jokes too. I forgot.
Dick jokes too.
There's dick jokes too.
And yes, so they
exploded.
They exploded. Yeah, they exploded again with Megumin, and yeah.
And that's the end of the official end of season 1, because technically both of the seasons have an original video animation at the end, which is just like a standalone episode that came out like a few months after the official end of the season. So technically, I guess that would be like episode 11 of season 1. But anyways, the OVA attached to season 1, we find it's in Wiz's shop, at her shitty magic shop, and the gang shows up to have tea, and Aqua's harassing Wiz, and this is where we see the scene where Megumin has a cat that just, like, is a little perverted cat that just plays with boobs. So he shows up to Wiz's shop, and he's just, like, pushing up on her boobs the whole time.
In the background, while something else is happening.
Yeah, but Wiz is just like, oh, it's a cat. Like, he's playing with me, but it's just this cat just playing with her boobs. And then, fuck, what was I talking about? It's so hard to stay focused when you just get stuck on boobs sometimes.
Well, it's because we, after the episode, I mean, they saved the town, but there's repercussions at the end because the place that the Wiz transported this power core to was like somewhere a lord's castle.
Yeah, it was like a lord's house, and now they owe a bunch of fucking money, and Kazuma gets arrested.
Not only that, yeah, Kazuma gets like accused of treason, terrorism,
all that shit.
You know, and that's how we start season 2. Season 2, he is literally in jail.
Well, hold on. Start the OVA.
OVA, yeah.
We're on the OVA. So in Wiz's sex shop, magic shop, we meet Megumin's rival from school, who is also her sister character. Her name's Union. And she's a loser with no friends who's probably a better mage than Megumin, but she's just hanging around where the gang usually shows up, just waiting to challenge Megumin to a fight.
Yeah, because she wants to be considered, the main Crimson Mage.
Yeah, the head Crimson Mage of whatever. So she challenged her to duels, and they're not always magic battles. They're just random stupid shit, right? So she challenges Megumin to a magic item battle. So they just grab something random in Wiz's shop, and it's like, oh, it's a globe that can help you make friends, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, whoever can use the globe better to make friends is the winner. And it's literally just a crystal ball that shows all the most embarrassing moments of your life. And that's like the gimmick, is that like it makes friends by like embarrassing you in front of people.
And as all these girls are just fighting with each other, like the animosity between Aqua and Wiz, Union and Megumin just there, and then fucking Darkness just being horny all the time there. Kazuma is going... Oh, I think Union had dropped a collar or something. A collar-looking item.
No. Oh, yeah. No, you're right. Yeah.
A collar-looking item. And while they're fighting and everything, Kazuma picks up this thing. He's like, oh, a wishing collar.
Yeah, it literally says, like, grants any wish. Put it wherever.
Correct. And then, so, in this whole ruckus and stuff like that, he says, I wish they were more comforting. Like, I wish the girls were more calm to each other and comforting and stuff like that, instead of being so aggressive and crazy all the time.
I didn't even remember that when watching the episode.
I did.
Like, it happened so quick that, like, I was just like, he puts the collar on, and the gimmick is that, like, the collar doesn't actually grant the wish. It just kills you unless
in 4 days.
Yeah, unless you answer your own fucking wish.
Yeah, so... Yeah, if it says, oh, you want to lose weight, well, you better lose weight or I'm going to kill you in 4 days.
Right. Yeah. So the rest of the episode is just the girls trying to, like, figure out what the fuck Kazuma's wish is so he doesn't die.
Because he puts it on. But then, obviously, Wiz...
On his neck.
Yeah, on his neck. After he puts it on, she reveals that the actual instructions to this fucking thing, which is that it's gonna kill you in 4 days. So he just freaked out about that. Everything happened so fast. He's like, holy shit, what did I wish for?
Yeah, he instantly forgets. He's like, oh fuck.
Because he said it so nonchalant, like in a not literal way, but like a figurative way. Oh, I wish they were more, comforting. But he just forgot about it. And the entire episode is just the girls trying to help him figure out what his wish is. So since he's a pervert, he's just trying to say anything that he might have been thinking at the time that he put it on.
So him not knowing what his wish is, the girls are just like, tell us to do whatever. Tell us to do whatever your wish is. It's just him just making them do dirty fucking shit the rest of the episode. It's like... making Darkness just take all her armor off and just do push-ups and like exercise related stuff. It's him making the 14-year-old Megumin and Union do strip rock paper scissors like right in front of him while he just sits in the front yard laying on Wiz's like bare thighs.
And I like in the the strip papers is a rock, where Megumin is like, Union, we have to work together. It's like we have to do the same thing and tie every time, so we don't have to lose any more clothing. And then they start doing that, so they start showing the same fucking, paper, rock, scissors. And Kazuma noticed this is like, if you tie 3 more times, both of you have to take something off. So Megumin tricks Union into keep tying, but she just beats her and starts beating her from there. And it's just weird. And then what does she do with Wiz's ties? She's like, oh, they're cold.
Yeah, he's just like, your thighs are so big and soft, but they're so cold because she's undead, right? Mm-hmm. She's an undead lich. And then Aqua, this is like one of the scenes where you do get a sense that she does want to be like she kind of likes Kazuma, sort of, even if she doesn't realize it, because she looks at Kazuma and she's like, what dirty thing are you gonna make me do? Almost acting like Darkness in a way, but like genuine, kind of. Mm-hmm. Like it's not a fetishy thing. And he's just like, oh, go get me food. I want a bun. I want X and X ramen.
A special bun, hell yeah. And yeah, and like we said, she's so useless, and she's been so useless throughout the season, because every single... did we do the dungeon, or is that in season 2?
That's in season 2.
Okay, so anyways, she's so useless, she can't even bring food back, entirely. Like, she eats half of it or something. And yeah, it's just horny stuff all the time. He even puts, like, Megumin and Union in, like, some cosplay, like a bunny cosplay and, like, a volleyball player.
Right, so... the joke here is that, like, even though they're both underage and he's just being a fucking pervert because they're young, like, he makes fun of, like, Union's boobs, and then he'll, in the same breath, he'll make fun of Megumin for looking her age.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And it's super gross and weird, but at the same time, like, the character models are trying to make it funny.
Yeah, and it's... I thought it was fucking hilarious. I thought it was a fucking funny episode.
It's a fucking funny... because, like, what you're saying, the wish the whole time was just, like, I wish they were comforting. So it's been, like, 3 days of them doing stupid, perverted shit, and they can't figure out what the wish is. So he's gonna die, and they hug him goodbye, and they comfort him on his way to death. Uh-huh. And then the necklace just snaps off.
Yeah.
And then they make fun of him, and then they're like, that was it? Like, you just wanted to be, like, hugged and comforted? You're so weird. Yeah. Like...
and yeah, that was season 1.
That's the entirety of season 1.
That was good.
I don't even know how season 2 starts.
Season 2, we start going into the trial.
Oh, the trial.
We're going to the trial, and everybody, and this is why I emphasize the moments that the townspeople were looking at Kazuma every time he came back with the girls, is because at this point they're in a little trial, and everybody's just talking shit about Kazuma. It's like, yeah, I saw that kid rolling through with 2 girls all covered in slime.
He steals panties.
He steals panties and does this weird wavy thing with his fingers.
Yeah, which is a super, like, suggestive, like, 5-finger fingering technique, I guess is what it's trying to say.
Probably, yeah. and it's just funny, because even the girls are like, yeah, even though he's a pervert and he looks at me dirty, and that's like Darkness, like 90% of the time to Kazuma. It's like, oh, I like when you look at me dirty. It's like, I'm not looking at you dirty.
Yeah, because, like... so the girls are trying to defend him, but in the same breath, they'll say something bad about him. It's just like, oh, well, he's such a good guy. He saves me when I'm trying to fall down on his back from my explosion magic. And then he'll say something like, oh, well, every time you were on my back because of your explosion magic, I tried to move you up higher on my back so that I could feel your boobs. And it's stuff like that. It's just like, Kazuma, what the fuck? You're so fucking creepy. Yeah. And, like, the trial just gets called off, or it gets put on pause almost. Like, it's not dismissed. It's just like, oh, well, this is where we find out Darkness is literal, like, royalty, and she's a noblewoman. So she's just like, I'm Valentina Loxenford, or whatever the fuck her last name is.
Correct. And she has to go away because she put in her family's name at this trial just to like pause it, I guess, or post him bail almost.
Yeah, so he's like out on bond kind of the first half of the season, because like there's the officer, the prosecutor is also the main police officer in charge of him. So I don't know if there's a vested interest in there, but in the American system that'd be super fucked up.
And they weren't trying to make her sexy or lewd or anything like that.
They do a little bit. You don't remember? So there's a scene where they have a bell, which is essentially like a lie detector.
I remember that.
And he starts saying like perverted, mean things about her sex life, being like, "Oh, you're so addicted to your job
that's why you don't have a man," kind of thing.
Yeah, you don't have a man, and that's why you can't get off. Yada yada yada. And that's when she's like, "That was too far, and this is why I'm gonna persecute you even harder now." And
but as far as her character, like her character design, it's not like lewd or pervy or anything like that.
She's drawn like a sexy cop. What do you mean? Her skirt ends like right at her ass crack.
Really? I don't remember.
Bullshit.
I don't.
Anyways, so she's also like sexified. So he's out on bond. They start doing quests again, but without darkness. So they don't have their tank. So they can't actually complete a quest. So they go try to do another frog killing quest. And the girls are getting eaten, and Kazuma's just trying to protect everybody. And the officer in charge of him also gets covered in slime and is all slimed up. And it's the same joke from season 1 that's like, there Kazuma goes, putting slime all over another woman.
Yeah, and it's crazy. What? And then they meet their second?
What?
No, do they go to the dungeon now?
No,
they need money?
The end of the frog episode, the second frog episode, is another union bit.
Another union bit.
So, like, I guess if the OVA technically isn't canon, this is the first canon meeting of Union.
Oh, correct.
So that's why they act all over again like, oh, this is the first Union meeting and she's got good magic. I don't even remember what happened out of that. That's not important. But you're right. So then immediately after that,
they go to the dungeon.
Because
they need money, because Kazuma still is a terrorist on bail.
Yeah, they still owe $40 million. He still has court fees. He needs to do legitimate work because he's got this officer lady following him around. They don't have darkness, so they can't do anything too difficult that requires a tank. So it's just like shit just stacking up.
So they picked this dungeon raid. They want to go down there, maybe kill some easy leveled undead.
Like a literal like World of Warcraft dungeon raid. Like it's a literal like cave in the ground, like go in there, find some treasure shit.
So cave in the ground, Megumin can't go in there because all she wants to do is blow shit up. So
yeah,
everything
like you can't
collapse.
do explosion magic indoors or everyone just dies.
Yeah. And so now Kazuma at this point, he has learned a couple more skills. Just sort of freeze, create water.
He's got like night vision now.
Night vision. He also has like stealth and detection of enemies around.
Yeah, he's turning into a full-blown rogue at this point because he's got steel, night vision, stealth, and enemy detection.
And so he starts going into this, dungeon. Cool, because he can see on darkness, so he can just go. And then we see the Lady Aqua is following him. It's like, hey, I told you to stay there in case somebody runs out or something. You have to kill. You can kill her from right there. And she tells him that she has also a very good sense of sight and hearing, so she can go through there. And then they say this thing about him when they were sleeping in the barn. She always heard him like almost jerk off next to her while she was sleeping. Yeah,
and it's even weirder because because I think I might be making this up, but I might be confusing it with another scene because she'll say what you're saying, just be like, what do you mean I have perfect goddess hearing, so I could hear you jerking off to me next to the whole time, and he'll say something like, oh, what do you mean I wasn't jerking off next to you? I was smelling your hair and getting off to it. Like, he is that, because there's similar scenes where it's like the barn and he would sleep next to her and he was also sniffing her hair and something like that.
She said that he heard him do that. Like she didn't say that he literally heard him jerk off, but it was like, oh, you do very weird noises when you sleep or something like that. It's like, so she knows that he knows, and he knows that she knows what was going on. But the moment that you're talking about, I think he was trying to get a reaction from her, and he was like, I tried to get off of the smell of your hair, but I couldn't. And he was like, you can just see him like smell his hair or something like that. I think that's what you're talking about.
Oh, you're right, because there's a scene where he's just like, I don't fucking see Aqua sexually. In no fucking way. I even tried to sniff her hair one time, and I couldn't even get off to that.
Yeah, I think those are in the trial, maybe.
Oh my god.
And so they're in the dungeon, and they have like... They find this old dude, this undead dude.
Right, they find this old dead lich, and he's all ugly, and like, he's a pervert too. Like, he sees Aqua right away. He's just like, oh, you're a goddess, but like, you're hot. Like, let me like get over here. But then out of nowhere, we get like a super sad backstory about how he's an undead lich because he was like the best mage in his kingdom, but he was in love with the princess. So he got like exiled out of town, and he took his bride to be like princess with him.
They eloped.
Yeah, they eloped, and the whole town was trying to murder him, and they lived under this cave until she died.
Mm-hmm, and she died, and
it's sad, like out of nowhere. You're
and him turning into an undead mage, he just kind of takes care of the tomb that she died in, pretty much.
It's sad.
And he, like, I guess throughout his time, he collected a lot of like really good armor and stuff like that. So that's the treasure that then Kazuma and Lady Aqua get because they pretty much rejoin them in the afterlife because she purifies him and decides to make a spirit repelling ring in the floor so the dungeon can be free of monsters.
Right. So then immediately after that, we go to Darkness's parents' house. Since she's a noblewoman, it's a huge-ass fucking castle. And we learn that Darkness is having the worst fucking time because she's a pervert trapped in, like, this noblewoman's, like, life.
And everybody's so delicate with her and everything. So she's just like, fuck.
Yeah, she just wants to be abused and talk shit to. So, Aqua and Kazuma like pretend to be her butler and servant, and she gets like a nobleman collar and
so have we already seen the second death
of Kazuma? How did he die the second time?
In the snow? In the winter? Was that...
that was season 1.
That was season 1?
Yeah.
All right, well, back to season 1. And, and during the winter, it's very hard to do quests. That's only for high-level individuals because, you know, it's cold and you need maybe more armor, more warmth, more skills to survive. And they decide because they don't have... Darkness there?
Darkness was there.
Darkness was there. So they end up hunting this fluffy...
Yeah, they're little
winter
sprites.
things. Yeah, winter snowballs almost. And they just... Lady Aqua decided to put him in jars to use them later to cool down some drinks.
Yeah. You know? So, like, they're little, like, snow demons that just look like a ball of fluff, and they generate cold. So Aqua's just like, oh, I'm just gonna steal a couple to keep my sake cold later.
Yeah, and everybody else is just, like, slashing these little cute, little fluffy demons. And out of nowhere, like, a winter, like...
Shogun
samurai... badass.
Aqua describes him as like he was one of the people from Japan, like Kazuma, that she sent to this world, but he turned into a demon also to protect sprites. I don't know. So Kazuma gets his head cut off.
Yeah. Clean cut off because he was being merciful.
Yeah. He was like, hey, like, Mr. Shogun, let's not do this.
I'm sorry, we'll leave, but... the Shogun being merciful, what he did was just one hit.
Yeah, he one-shotted him. So then Kazuma ends up in limbo, but he's back with this other goddess, Eris, and he's just like, oh, don't fucking send me back there. Those girls are so fucking annoying. And she's like, yeah, you killed a demon general. We'll send you back to a rich family in Japan. Don't even worry about it. But then he starts thinking about the girls and how much he's gonna miss them. And so that's when Aqua, as an archpriest, has a revival spell too, right? Mm-hmm. That's the only reason he's able to come back every fucking time.
Yeah, anyways, Aqua starts talking shit to the new god because she wants to put him in a new place. And we start seeing, like, how this was my point in the show, that Kazuma cares about his party now. But at this point, when we meet Darkness, like, we see this pattern throughout the entire season that he wants to get rid of the party. He wants to be in a better party. And he's like, oh man, I can probably sabotage this in my game to make sure this arrange happens.
Yeah, if Darkness gets married and leaves, then I have to get a better tank. Oh, it's perfect.
Double crossing. Yeah. You know?
Cut him out.
So, we go into this, like, wedding arrangement.
Yeah, so since she's royalty, she's subject to arranged marriages. And so this guy is like a super just nice-ass guy, but Darkness has asked Kazuma and Aqua to, like, sabotage the arranged marriage. So she meets the guy, and she's just trying to be, like, herself. Like, she's trying to be all perverted and weird and just say stupid shit just to, like, get him to break up with her or whatever.
Because she's so upset. Because the reason she initially went into being a crusader is that she was going to be in danger, she was going to be in trouble, she was going to be in some sort of mental pain, emotional pain, or you know?
Yeah.
So she's so upset that she's going to marry this, like, noble person because they're so gentle and blah blah blah, and he's not demeaning to her.
Yeah, because, like, she tells him at a certain point, she's like, stop being so fucking nice to me, why can't you talk shit to me like Kazuma? And it's just Kazuma there being like, what? I'm so nice to you. What do you mean? And she's like, no, you fucking liar. You're such a dirty pervert and you're always telling me the grossest things. And I see the way you're always looking at me. And he's just like, you saw that? And she's like, of course I did. You never look me in the eye. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and yeah, pretty much Kazuma's trying to make sure this thing happens.
Yeah, and so Darkness challenges this guy to a duel, and she being a crusader tank person pervert just, like, strips off all her clothing, just like, beat the shit out of me right now or I can't marry you. And him being a good guy is like, no, like, I can't hit a woman, why the fuck would I do that?
It's like, I give. It's like, you're strong but your will is stronger. And he, like, pretty much quits, you know? Mm-hmm. And it reminded me something like Hunter x Hunter, when that guy quits on the fight because what does that make MC in Hunter x Hunter?
Oh, Gon
doesn't want to give up.
It's the same thing, but for very different reasons. Mm-hmm. Because he gives up because he doesn't want to hurt a woman. Gon didn't give up just because he's just hard-headed. Like, Darkness did it for purely, like, selfish sexual reasons. Like, that's the difference here. Mm-hmm. And so that's when they get, like, Darkness's dad's blessing, being like, I know she's really weird, but, like, you're her only friends.
You've taken care of her enough already. Please keep taking care of her.
Yeah, just please keep taking care of my daughter. And that's, like, the resolution there. And that's where, like, I don't even know where it ends up from there. Is that, like, when they go back to the dungeon?
Yeah. And actually, I completely forgot about this, but in the episodes that Darkness is not there, the audience is almost made to think that she's being enslaved somehow. Because she's like, no, I won't do it. She's like all in this like weird ass situations.
It's just her being put into like noblewoman's gear, and she's like acting like that's like the worst thing possible. But it's expected to look like some kind of weird sexual fetish thing. Mm-hmm. Like the Lord, whose home blew up, is like sexually abusing her or something like that.
Yeah, and anyways, we go past that. Darkness comes back, right?
Right.
We get I guess the police lady though is tracking him because he's on bail, obviously. Her PO almost. Mm-hmm. She goes to Kazuma's party and asks them to help them with a dungeon that they already been to, because the dungeon is spreading a lot of demons around. Right.
So that's the joke at the end of this episode, is like Aqua's dumbass is like, oh yeah, I put up a magical circle that dispels all demons.
So the demons, instead of going to the dungeon where, you know,
they
I don't care,
hang out and don't bother anybody.
Yeah. Instead of not being able to go there, they had to go to the nearest town.
Mm-hmm. And that's like the issue. So it's purely like a Kazuma and party made issue. Like it's Aqua's fault.
Mm-hmm. And even Kazuma's like, what did you say? Like, when the PO is right there, it's like, shut up right now.
Stop talking right fucking now. Don't say another word.
We'll go take care of it. Yeah, we'll go take care of it, and that's it. That's pretty much it.
So they go back, and there's a Demon Lord General there, who's the third Demon Lord General we've met.
Mm-hmm. And which, his name is kind of weird, but the gist of his demon guy is that it's actually the mask and not his physical body.
Mm-hmm. Veneer,
that's right, Veneer.
Right, so he's got these doll demons that explode on contact, and that's why, like, Darkness is super willing to go down to the dungeon right away, because if she gets blown up, she gets her nut off, right? So
What's your shirt say? What's that shirt?
Star Wars.
Ooh, nice. Dude, I like him.
How long have we been sitting here talking?
I couldn't make out this. I thought it was some sort of, like, I don't know.
I am wearing one of the 40th anniversary A Bathing Ape and Empire Strikes Back Star Wars shirts.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that you wear nerdy stuff to Sundays now.
This was expensive. This was a Bape shirt. Hey. Anyways, they go down to the dungeon. Darkness is able to hit demons. There's a demon lord there that can read minds. So right away, he looks in Kazuma's mind. He's like, wow, you're just a fucking pervert weirdo, huh? And then he looks in Darkness's mind. He's like, you're an extra fucking weirdo. Like, what the fuck is this? You want to get, like, abused and beaten?
Yeah, because even, like, you can even think about Darkness power to make people uncomfortable because of the shit that she says. It's almost like a power. It's on its own.
Yeah. So, like, right away, he's made uncomfortable. They're able to destroy his physical body.
He doesn't even want to be in her mind. He's like, whoa.
Yeah, so they're able to destroy his physical body, which, like you were saying, he's literally just the mask on his face. So he tries to control Darkness, and when he first takes over Darkness's body, you hear him telling Kazumi, like, ha, I am exploiting your partner, and, like, she's being hurt right now while I take over her mind. And she's just like, Kazuma, this feels amazing. Like, he's raping my mind right now.
Her level of pleasure, it's so great that the demon cannot fully take, like, control of her mind, that her personality slips out while this possession is happening. This little demon possession is happening. Mm-hmm. And so he's like, wait, what are you doing? Why are you keeping... Don't stop interrupting me, blah, blah, blah.
And this lasts all the way until they drive the demon outside. And the only way to beat him is just going to have to be to, like, blow up Darkness. So Darkness right away... Like, they're going to blow up Darkness with Megumin's powers. So right away, Darkness is like, fuck yeah! Like, I have to be, like, blown the fuck up. Please fucking do it. Like, this is going to hurt so bad. I'm so down.
So does she end up dying?
No. She passes out, though.
She passes out?
They destroy her armor.
Oh, that's right.
So they do the explosion magic. It blows up the mask, which we think kills the demon, and then it blows up her armor, but Darkness is alive. Mm-hmm. So then, because Kazuma and Party have paid back their debt to the society, they pay him a little scratch at the end, and, like, his debts are forgiven for destroying the wall, and they paid to refix Darkness's armor, and now they're debt-free.
Mm-hmm. But they're still broke.
They're still broke. They have no fucking money at all. Like, not $1 to their name, but at least they're not in debt.
Mm-hmm. And now we start... We go back to Wiz's shop because it's a clear... Right? We go back there and that's where we find out that the demon that they just beat in the previous episode...
He reincarnated.
He reincarnates because his mask apparently has, like, lives... Like,
it has, like, life saves. So now his mask has 2 instead of 1. So they're like, oh, you really beat one of my lives. So it was just like, what was the point that whole time? But that's the gimmick, is that, like, him as a Demon Lord General already knew Wiz because she's also a Demon Lord General. So he just goes and hangs out at her shop and turns into his employee.
And almost like business partner.
Yeah, business partners. So then he makes Cosmo a deal and he's like, hey, you're from another world. If you just make me items from Japan...
Like mundane things, because in the table we see like an apple cutter.
Yeah, like literal like like Japanese tables and shit. You know what I mean? Like super mundane items. And he's gonna pay Kazuma like millions of dollars just to like reproduce the things from Japan.
Mm-hmm. And then we start seeing the Kazuma and Lady Aqua. They're like just all like, I don't know.
Oh, they're acting all hoity-toity about it, like all rich.
They're putting
like,
up airs.
Yeah, they're putting. They got, they're putting up airs and they're all like pretending to slap people with money because they're about to be so fucking rich from all the
real fancy like and blah blah blah. And then we start seeing this little thing that makes sense at the end of the season, that every time that little bigwig fucking Kazuma is talking to bigwig fucking Lady Aqua, it's like he's asking her for tea, but every time that tea comes back, it's just hot water because she purifies water
on contact. Yeah, because she's a fucking goddess. It's like a water goddess. Yeah.
Throughout this like bigwig situation they have, that's happening in the background. Then we see Megumin come in from where?
I don't even remember at this point. I just remember that, like, this is just the excuse for the gang to go out of town to a hot springs city. Mm-hmm. And then there's a bunch of complications on the way over there that entirely created by the party. So there's, like, a darkness exhibition scene where, like, some evil demon ostriches are gonna, like, beat her up because of her armor, and they're gonna hurt the whole caravan. And there's adventurers there that are hired by the caravan person to, like, protect the caravan. And one of the adventurers tries to put out string to, like, capture the birds. And Darkness, being a masochist, she's like, oh, I want to be tied up. And just, like, runs in front of it.
And, yeah, the birds were about to run over her. But Lady Aqua, throughout this time, she has learned how to, like, spread her luck or boost somebody's luck.
Yeah.
So she uses this skill on Darkness, and Darkness with, like, her hoping that she will get trampled, stampeded by all these birds, like, they end up, like, going over her. So they get an idea to put everybody back in the wagon, make them follow him into a cliff, making them follow into him in a cliff, and Darkness was like, no, that's too dangerous. You should tie me up
to the back of the wagon and just drag me
as far away as possible so that she can be dragged. She gets dragged. They end up guiding the birds to this, like, cave, almost cliff looking thing, and then Megumin ends up blowing them up.
Right, and then later that night, like, everyone's all thanking them, but then when everyone goes to sleep, zombies attack. Because the undead are attracted to Aqua. So that's, like, the joke all over again, is everyone's all thanking Kazuma and his team. And he's just like, honestly, there's no reason. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I can't take any of your money right now. Like, I feel so bad. They show up to this town.
Because they literally created all the problems. Because the birds were attracted to a new metal.
From Darkness's armor.
Yeah, Darkness's armor. And then now the undead are there because of Lady Aqua. You know? Most of the explosion damage was Megumin.
Yeah, and, like, that's just the theme of, like, how destructive this group is, but they keep getting away with everything because of Kazuma's luck. Mm-hmm. So they show up to this hot spring town, and it's a bunch of weirdos, because they're all part of the Axis cult, or something like that.
Yeah, which is the
religion that
Aqua.
Yeah, since Aqua is a goddess, they literally worship Aqua in this town. But they're all super fucking annoying, and they're
weird about it.
Yeah, they're like Jehovah's Witnesses, but, like, even more shady about it.
Yeah, they're like, oh, hey, come with me. Like, some pretty girl will come up to Kazuma and be like, oh, well, if you hang out with me, it's like this and that, and you can convert to my religion. And he's like, wait, what? And then, like, people are just being kind of forceful to, like, join this cult almost. And it's funny because Darkness is having a blast because she is just like
she's part of the Eris religion.
She's showing off her Eris medallion or, like, little, you know, whatever pendant, and everybody's just like stoning her or, like, talking bad about her or spitting at her.
Yeah, they'll literally, like, spit on her, or, like, they'll start sweeping around her, just, like, abusing the fuck out of her, and that's, like, what she's getting off to.
And she's like, oh, we should get a home here. She's having a blast. But Kazuma's being annoyed by every single townsman and townswoman because they're just like, fucking join the club.
Yeah, because the only reason he even wanted to be there is because he's a fucking pervert, and he heard that the hot springs have, like,
co-ed?
Yeah, co-ed, like, hot springs. Uh-huh. So every time there's, like, a girl there, he's just staring at her and just being all weird and creepy. And she'll even ask him to stop, and he's just like, what, I'm not doing anything.
Oh, you're in a co-ed hot spring.
Yeah, I'm a co-ed hot spring. That's not my fault.
Uh-huh.
But it's just the people are so annoying that we even see, like, another individual at the hot spring just, like, being super annoyed because even the soaps have, like, all the, like, logos all over it, and it's just pissing them off. And we learn at a certain point, well, Aqua goes to the church about herself and like is giving people like religious advice. Like she's a fucking Catholic priest or something like that. So she has like a confessional.
Yeah, like very like mumbo jumbo kind of sermons.
Yeah, and it's all bullshit. It's like, oh, my wife cheated on me and took all my money and all my furniture, and she'll just be like, well, remember that the goddess Eris pads her breasts, and I want you to cite that every time like something bad happens to you. So you just have all these dumbass people like running around,
like being stupid.
Yeah. And the thing about it is the priest of her temple doesn't even believe that she's the real goddess Aqua.
Uh-huh.
So Aqua being upset about that does like her soapbox in the middle of town and like tries to tell everybody like, hey, I'm the goddess Aqua, this is that. And everyone's mad at her because she's already purifying water. But the purifying of the water is getting rid of all the minerals and stuff in the hot springs, which ruins the business because it's literally just hot water at that point.
Yeah, because that's the main point of the springs. You are in literal, natural water, natural hot spring water, which has a lot of beneficial minerals and stuff. And the main high priest ends up going to like this, like, I don't know, like secret mountain hot spring religious thing up in the mountain.
No, that wasn't him. That was the guy that was annoyed at the hot spring that Kazuma was at.
No. But he was also there because he obviously got digested or eaten by the slime god.
Oh, that's right. So, like, eventually we learn that the hot springs are being tainted, so the group has to go up into the source of the hot springs and figure out why it's being tainted. And that's where we find this is our 4th Demon King General.
I believe so.
Who's like literally just a slime demon who overtook like a certain person's body and now takes on his looks. But he's literally just like a poisonous RPG slime. But he's super big and powerful, and like Kazuma right away like takes the first excuse to just dip out and not fight him because he's just like, there's no way we can beat him. But Aqua, needing the like approval of the people of her religion, just like convinces them to actually fight him, right? Mm-hmm. And this is, again, just like the last boss fight from Season 1, this is the boss fight for Season 2. This is where, like, all the animation quality was saved.
It's so good.
Like, he turns into full slime mode, and it's all big and animated perfectly.
Transparent, like, it's so good. It's animated very good.
They're trying to use destruction magic, and Kazuma sees in the slime that, like, the person he took over hasn't fully digested. So Kazuma's idea is that he's going to grab a bunch of the soaps that have been purified by the religious order. He's going to get eaten by the slime to, like, purify him a little bit so that he turns smaller, so that Megumin can then use her destruction magic to blow him up, and then Aqua's going to purify him. And that's exactly what happens.
Mm-hmm. And he dies. I like the death.
This is his 3rd death.
That's his 4th death, because his 3rd... No, wait. You're right.
This is his 4th death, because we didn't even talk about his 3rd death. Yeah, it was from, like, him falling out of a tree and breaking his neck from them trying to kill some lizards.
Yeah, but it's not really... We just see another moment that he gets the opportunity to ditch him, but he doesn't.
Yeah. It just keeps reiterating that point that, like, he acts like he fucking hates them, but he loves his best friends. Like,
yeah, and it's nice. But yeah, this will be his 4th death. And... Yeah, they end up doing this, and then we talked about this our first take yesterday, that the animations in God's Requiem from Aqua, it's really good. It's like a spirit bomb.
Yeah, she has like a regular like God punch or something that's not killing him, and he's like, you're not strong enough to beat me, and then everyone just starts praying to Aqua all the stupid shit that she was saying to them to the day before, and that gives her super spirit requiem that just spirit bombs his ass into being dead.
Oblivion, yeah. And that's it. And then
that's the end of Season 2. The official end of Season 2.
They resuscitate Kazuma again.
They just revive him and bring him back to life, and that was it. They saved the day. Now, we get the OVA for the end of Season 2, which is literally just them going into a dungeon of a guy that Aqua took into this world, but instead of wishing for like a weapon, he wished for a power to create anything. Mm-hmm. And this is the guy that made the moving fortress from Season 1. He made that, and him having the power to create anything, the whole episode is them just reading his journal, and eventually at a certain point he made robots, like sex robots, because he was just a dirty fucking pervert and lived so long he couldn't die. So he started making sex robots, but he's also a masochist like Darkness, so it's literally just robots with whips and shit just beating the shit out of him. And then in his journal on the last day it's like, I died before I could test out my super special, awesome, amazing, perfect robot. And Cosmo, being a dirty pervert, he's just like, oh, let's go check out what the last robot was. So they let him out. Right away, Cosmo's attracted to the robot. And then she just turns out to be a masochist because she just starts whipping and beating the shit out of him. And that's when, like, Megumin blows up the dungeon.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I think it was very fun to watch. And I think we kind of put it in better words this time than our first take.
We did. Our energy is better, and I think we contracted it. No, we're at the exact same time.
We're at the same time. Yeah.
Never fucking mind. Hold on. But you didn't watch the movie. Let me just briefly describe the movie. So the movie is literally called like KonoSuba and the Crimson Demon something. So it's literally just about Megumin, right? So it's about the Crimson Demons that Megumin's a part of. So they go back to Megumin's hometown. They meet Megumin's family and the school she grew up in, which is literally just Harry Potter for weird-ass fucking explosion wizards. And we learn that, like, Megumin and even Union are just, they're ass. Like, they're the worst wizards of even their town. Like, everyone else can use multi-range magic and teleportation and all this stupid shit. But Union can only use that one fucking electric explosion. And Megumin can only use explosion. Yeah, whatever. So the joke here is that Megumin's parents keep trying to hook her up with Kazuma. Because, like, several times they'll just literally lock her into, like, her childhood bedroom and just be like, oh, don't come out until you guys are married or something. So it's Kazuma being all weird and creepy with Megumin for, like, 3 whole nights. So she'll be sleeping. He'll try to hold her hand. He'll try to kiss her. He, like, freezes the door and window shut so that she can't escape when she wakes up and gets all weirded out. And that's where the scene happens, where they meet our 5th encounter with a demon general, which is the fucking Chimera.
Uh-huh.
Right? And the Chimera's whole point is that she keeps trying to raid the fucking wizard town, but they're so powerful, they just keep beating the shit out of her.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like the joke there. So Kazuma gets captured by the Chimera after she puts his dick in his butt, and she makes Kazuma open the door to the wizard killing weapon, which was again also created from the guy that had the power to create anything that made the sexy robots, exhibitionists, and the moving fortress.
Uh-huh.
So it's an all-powerful weapon that can kill mages and turns off their magic power. So then it is up to Kazuma, Aqua, Darkness, and Megumin to find the anti-magic weapon anti-thing, which is a whole nother weapon to beat the anti-wizard weapon after the Chimera eats it and turns into a bigger snake Chimera, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then they kill her with like a magic gun that they found, and it eats Megumin's explosion magic and blows a hole into her, and that's how they beat her, they think. And then she reincarnates, this Chimera snake big boob demon. And she reincarnates with the spirits of the undead, of the Headless Horseman demon general, and the slime demon general. So they all turn into one giant big booby demon slime headless horseman thing. Okay? So then Kazuma has to have one of his big Kazuma ideas to kill himself and save the day, right? So his idea is that since the demon Chimera was like in love with him and wanted him to feel up on her boobies and X, Y, and Z, he's gonna walk up to her and like make her consume him so that he can become part of the huge demon body, and then Megumin and Union are gonna spirit. Okay, so Wiz is also there. Wiz and
Union?
No, the dude with the V, the other demon general.
Vladimir? No, not Vladimir.
Vision. Oh, what the fuck is his name?
Vladimir.
No, it's something with a V. It's literally Virus.
Vidler.
Whatever the fuck. Veneer. I was thinking teeth. I'm like, why veneer like teeth? Okay, so anyways. So Wiz and Veneer are also there because they're trying to find a craftsman that can create Kazuma's, like, Japanese creations.
Uh-huh.
at the Wizard Town. They go there, it's all blown up because of the Chimera Demon. And they all know each other because they're all fucking demon generals, right? So they go, and it's just Wiz and Veneer just trying to beat the shit out of this other demon, and Wiz is all trying to use her freeze magic, and Veneer takes over Darkness's body, and that's how he's beating the shit out of the demon reincarnated trio. So then Kazuma gets absorbed by the Chimera Demon and is just lying to her and be like, oh, I love you. As long as I have you and you consume me, we can be into this together. But Kazuma's just trying to get her to put her guard down so that Wiz can use her energy touch vampire taking to take the whole village's magic power, because they're all wizards, create a spirit bomb that she's then going to give the energy to Union and Megamine so that they can use the super destructive magic spell of awesomeness, because it's both of their spells together. Mm-hmm. The animation quality is amazing, and that's how Kazuma dies, because they pierce through both Kazuma and this demon. End of movie. It's just like just a regular Konosuba arc, but like condensed.
Nice. It sounds very fun. I'm gonna check it out for sure. I think it's fun to watch.
It's stupidly funny.
It's so
funny.
You can expect anything else from it. Like even us. I mean, I at least myself, I try to be very analytical about a lot of things, but you can't with this.
No, you can't, and it doesn't want you to be.
No, it doesn't want you to be.
It doesn't need it anyway. Definitely watch it. It's pretty fucking good. It's the funniest anime I've ever seen ever, and I've been watching anime for like 20 fucking years.
I think it's pretty fucking awesome. Would you recommend it?
I would definitely 100%, 1000% recommend it. This be an easy... Oh, no. I was going to say this would be an easy thing to get like a beginner anime watcher into, but like a beginner anime watcher is not going to appreciate the fan service. They're going to be all weirded out and just like not watch it.
Yeah, it's like, this is too corny, bro.
Yeah, why are these cartoons like this?
We know this.
Nerd down?
Nerd down.
Nerd down.
Nerd down.
So then... What the fuck are we nerding down? We didn't even get to the nerd down.
Man,
yesterday.
last time we didn't even get to the nerd down, man. We tried to...
We paused it and Audacity just shit itself.
Fucking shit itself bad, man. It was...
Have you been watching anything?
I finished The Mandalorian.
Oh, you did catch up. Did you like the last episode then?
Yeah, I did. I mean, it's crazy because...
You don't like Dad Bod Boba Fett?
I liked him. I thought it was fun to see. You know,
I just think it's cool that this is
because him being the coolest fucking character in the first movies, you know.
Well, he got like 20 minutes of screen time in the original movies. Like they built him up so much. He was the coolest fucking character model, and then he just dies. Mm-hmm. And this is the first time we get to see him use his rockets. And they bring in the Clone Wars fucking stuff because Jango Fett was like the whole reason for the Clone Wars. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I just think it's funny that like nerd Twitter was making fun of that he has like a little bit of a stomach now. Like,
well, he's older. He's been pretending to be a sad person this whole time.
Yeah, he's been like 30. He's like 30 years older right now. At least the actor is. But it's so fucking good. I'm glad you finally got to see Samurai Ahsoka
Tano. That was nice.
I think after this last episode though, they're gonna. There has to be a big, like, Jedi character introduction in the next one, right? They wouldn't have set up that whole, like, Jedi Seeing Stone and the whole, like... They just wouldn't have bothered with all that unless they were going to reintroduce somebody. And I'm thinking it might be, like... who's Anakin's fucking mentor? Obi-Wan. It's going to be fucking Obi-Wan or something like that, because we know that Disney Plus is doing an Obi-Wan show, too.
Mm-hmm. I'll be more down for him to show up than Luke.
I don't want Luke at all, bro.
Nah, I don't need to see anything else.
I said this last week. Like, Luke Skywalker's been in, like, 6 fucking movies. Like, just leave it alone, bro. Like, if anyone does not need to be developed, it's Luke Skywalker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, give him some Obi-Wan, you know. It's crazy.
Unless it's going to be, like, a Sith Lord or something like that. Is that what they're trying to set up for? Like, fucking Darth Maul comes through being like, yo, I heard your call. Motherfucker.
And yeah, I liked it. Please, just a reminder to follow us on Twitter at Between Nerds. Follow us on IG at Between Nerds as well. Email us with your take on
BetweenNerdsPodcast@gmail.com.
KonoSuba. Email us any concerns or any more horny thoughts that you had that we didn't touch up on.
We're just gonna get horny fan fiction.
Yeah, well, look at this Reddit community.
Yeah, and it's dope. Just please use the hashtag, guys. Like, it's not that hard. It takes all of 5 seconds. Like,
or just like it too. I mean, our last contributions have been like $10.
Like, Valentin has already won. We're not going to give him another giveaway. Like, if anybody enters right now that hasn't already won a giveaway, then we're just going to give it to you. You get what I'm saying?
And yeah, please tell us what you want. Would you got anything else, brother?
I graduated with my master's on the 11th.
Oh, are you going to tell them about what's going on next episode?
Right. So, my girlfriend's birthday, Karen, is also... Her birthday's the 24th. So, we're going to do, like, a joint weekend with Aldo and VNA. So, we're going to Ruidoso this weekend. On the 11th, we won't be recording on the 13th, which would be our regular recording day on a Sunday. And then I forgot, kind of. I wasn't thinking about it, but I scheduled a tattoo for the 14th as like a little graduation present to myself. So we won't be able to record episode 22, which is going to be Steins Gate, until next Tuesday. Mm-hmm. But Steins Gate, I'm super excited about Steins Gate. I'm going to put up another poll tomorrow, but Steins Gate for sure is like, it's like top 5 on my anime list, which is what reminded me about it. And it's just like the super mindfucky sci-fi, interdimensional, time traveling, just like, it's a lot.
I kind of want to watch Ghost in the Shell.
Do you want to do just a movie poll? And then we can just watch the top 2 movies that win. Like, so we can put like Ghost in the Shell, Valentine requested Howl's Moving Castle.
Those are good.
You were talking about Shinkei earlier. We didn't watch his most recent movie, which is Weathering with You. Mm-hmm. And then we can just pick like another Ghibli movie or something. To be honest, we can do like I don't even know. We've talked about Ponyo on here. We could watch Spirited Away, but Spirited Away is kind of basic, but like it's so basic it's good. You know what I mean? Like you can't hate on something for that. Mm-hmm. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I'm saying Ghost in the Shell because I was watching Matrix the other night. It's good.
Ghost in the Shell?
Ghost in the Shell.
Okay.
I want that. But was that conclusion of the 21st episode?
Yeah. Just at the last little bit, I'm just going to reiterate this for the 3rd time. Please use hashtag Nerds for the Homeless. For every original hashtag use, you will be entered into our December giveaway. For every like or retweet on a tweet or post using said hashtag Nerds for the Homeless, we will be donating to the El Paso Coalition for the Homeless. Please email us questions, comments, or concerns to BetweenNerdsPodcast@gmail.com. Please follow us on Twitter or Instagram @BetweenNerds. Thank you to Javi @SlimeGuts, GUTZ on Twitter for producing our graphics and logos. Thank you to Thomas Zapien for producing our original music.
Thank you for our listeners.
Thank you to our listeners. Thank you to whoever the fuck. Just all y'all. Just
everybody. We're trying to help out the city. You know, we're trying to help out everybody with this hashtag, so please use them.
Yep. It's going to be a good time.
Thank you.
We'll see y'all next Tuesday.
Good night.
This has been Between Nerds.